Those are the Sunset Apollos in all purple uniform, white numerals and lettering and white trim, Sunset across the chest of their unis. The head coach is Todd Sherwood in his 14th season at Sunset High School. He's assisted by Wade Moyer, Phil Campbell, and Ryan Bennett. The JV coaches Brian Kinlan and Andy Poling is the freshman coach. The Sunset freshmen, 76-46 winners. The JV team from Sunset, 57-47 winners here tonight. Sunset averaging 59.8 points per game. They give up 67.8 points per game. 4-9 their overall record, 3-3, fifth place right now in the Metro League. They've won their last two, snapping a 6-game losing streak. The lights drop here at Hermiston High School. The cheerleaders out creating a tunnel in front of the Hermiston bench, and the starting five for the Hermiston Bulldogs to be introduced. The point guard is the 5'11 junior Jordan Ramirez. On his wings, the 5'9 junior Andrew James, the 6'1 junior Cesar Ortiz. The small forward is the 6'2 junior Ryan Andreessen. And on the inside is the 6-foot junior Adrian Mendez, who was identified as the X-Man for the head coach, Casey Arstein, who's in his second season. Arstein is assisted by Kevin Moore, Riley Smith, Taylor Smith, and Ricardo Sotelo. The trainer is Dan Emery. The superintendent of the Hermiston School District is Tricia Mooney. The principal is Tom Spoo at Hermiston High School, where the athletic director is Larry Usher. And most importantly for the athletic department, Larry Usher's assistant is Lindy Thompson. Bulldogs in all white uniform, purple numerals in lettering, Hermiston across the chest, trimmed in gold. Andreessen, James, Mendez, Ramirez, and Ortiz have broken their final huddle. Sato, Sizik, Reese, Newsom, and Holst getting their final instructions from Todd Sherwood. Almost full in the student section across the way. They are giving out black t-shirts. They say beware of dogs across the front. The band is here. It's about 3/4 capacity tonight, as Dana Reese holds the ball, working tonight with Brandon Arts and Brian Friels out of the Blue Mountain Officials Association. Bulldogs will attack left to right. I'm Eric Olson, he's Sonny Levy. From the Old West Federal Credit Union broadcast booth, Andreessen to tip it against Reese, and Reese wins the tip, but back into the backcourt. Hermiston has the ball. Cesar Ortiz finds Jordan Ramirez, and Sunset looking to jump and trap right at half court. Ramirez throws near sideline. Andreessen down onto the baseline for Mendez. Mendez to the elbow. James throws into the left corner. It's stuck there. Flung way back up to the top of the key. Hermiston keeps possession. Mendez baseline back out to Andreessen right wing. Throws into the lane, and Andrew James kicks it out. Left wing, Ortiz for three. Back iron off. Rebound pings around into the hands of Andrew James. He'll get it back up top to reset with Jordan Ramirez. Out on the left side, Ortiz has it. He'll circle up top, kick near sideline. James gives to Andreessen, fade away from 12, rattles home. Andreessen gets the scoring started for Hermiston after a almost 50-second possession. Sato runs the point, left corner, gives for Holst. Holst will fake a shot, dribble out of the corner, hand off Sizik for three, swish. Sizik from distance gives Sunset a 1-point lead. Full court press, and Hermiston will break it now 3-on-3. Andrew James bounces it off of the leg of Will Reese, out of bounds. Stays Hermiston ball on the baseline. .6:52 on the clock in the first quarter. 3-2 lead for Sunset. Hermiston will baseline inbound. James bounces it to Andreessen into the corner for Ortiz. Ortiz rifles one through Andreessen's hands into the hands of Sizik for Sunset. He'll drive on the end, draws a bump, scoops a shot in over the top of Ramirez, who might have got away with a bump. Sizik's got all 5 points for Sunset, and they lead by 3. Ortiz for Hermiston on the far sideline holds. 90 seconds into the contest. At the foul line, James swings it back up top to Ramirez. Around the perimeter, James up top, passes up a shot. Runner in front of the free throw line, off the back iron. Sizik pulls down the rebound for Sunset, up to Sato. Sato, left elbow, pull up, jumper, swish. Sunset hits 3 jumpers to start off the contest, and a 7-2 lead for them. 6:08 on the clock. Andreessen for Hermiston, drives down right lane, into traffic, foul called. Andreessen goes tumbling, and Will Reese, who committed the harm, runs to him quickly to reach down and help him back up. The foul, the first of the game, pauses the clock with 6:04 left in the first quarter.
One thing we're seeing is Hermiston is not afraid to go ahead and try and run with this Sunset team, and as well as Sunset is not afraid to run with Hermiston.
Andreessen misses the first of the 2 foul shots. Is good on the second. And Hermiston's deficit is 7-3. Just over 2 minutes gone in the first quarter. For Sunset, Cizik, left wing, open 3, rattles around and out. Andreessen pulls it down for Hermiston, flips it far sideline, and Ramirez brings it into the front court. For the Bulldogs, he has it stripped out of his hands by Sato, who's got it for Sunset. Near sideline, he'll spin around James, and James is called for a holding foul. First on Hermiston, 5:40 left in the first quarter, and the Bulldogs trail by 3. I'm sorry, Andreessen hit both of his. The scoreboard took a long time to put that second foul shot up. Left side, Sato will take a long jumper, back iron into the hands of Ortiz for Hermiston. Flips it over the top of 2 defenders to Ramirez. Ramirez gives to a cutting Andreessen, dribbles off his own foot, gets it back, foul on the baseline, and hits the jumper. Andreessen's got 5. 7-6 is the score line on the board. They've got Andrew James with a point, but he has not gone to the foul line.
Now they missed the first free throw.
Well, but it was Andreessen at the line, not...
Right. They missed the first free throw regardless, and I have no idea what they're doing up there with the score on there, but it is 7, it should be 5.
Sunset lead, down on the baseline, Mendez finishes, a pass from Andrew James, and Adrian Mendez has his first points of the game. Holst has it on the baseline for Sunset, stuck in the corner against Andreessen, flips it back out, Cizik. Cizik circles to his right, down to the left baseline, scoops it up and in. Cizik's got 7. 9-7, I believe is the correct score, and the scoreboard is all types of discombobulated right now. Andrew James left open for 3 right side, off to the left of the iron. Mendez fights for the rebound, pulls it away from a couple of Apollos, and back out to Ortiz. Left corner, Andreessen tries a tray. Front iron bounces into the hands of Sunset's Newsom. The senior will bring it up court, fling it into the left corner for Cizik. Pass the defender down into the corner, laid in. Timeout for KCRC, a 30-second timeout with 4:02 left here in the first quarter. Andreessen has a bucket, the 2-point fadeaway. He went 1 for 2 from the line. He did not make them.
Right, went 1 for 2 and then hit a second bucket for the night. So he's got
5. Mendez has got a bucket. That's 2. It should be 7. And Cizik just hit his 8th and 9th points of the game. So Sunset's lead is 11-7. And Hermiston will take a 30-second timeout.
At some point, they'll. I'm sure they're going to see the errors on their way, but that's going to come important, very important, especially if it'd be going against Hermiston right now, which it is.
Lob pass to Thomas McCullough. He'll give it to Andreessen, who's fouled under the basket by Will Reese. The Sunset post has picked up his second. And Andreessen goes back to the foul line. 2 more shots coming. The first is good. And so they have his score correct. He's got the 6. What they have wrong is they have Andrew James for 1, but James has not been to the foul line. Andreessen gets them both. And it's 11-9. 3:54 left in the first quarter. Sato for the Apollos brings it into the left wing. Skips all the way into the right corner. Cizik on the baseline. Dribbles out of the baseline. Forced out by James. Down onto the left wing. King will kick it back out. Holst for three. Rattles in. Holst's second Sunset three-point shot made. Their lead is 14-9 with 3:28 left in the first quarter. Ortiz gives near sideline to Thomas McCullough. Skipped over to the far wing. And Andreessen for Hermiston gives it to James at the foul line. Kicks it near sideline. Ramirez for three. Way short front iron, and there's a foul on the rebound. Andrew James is called for a push under the basket. His second foul. And it's the second team foul on Hermiston.
Andrew James, his second personal foul, 17 foul on the Bulldogs. Coming into the game, the Bulldogs. Number 12, Cole Smith, 6 foot.
Cole Smith will come into the game for James. 5-point lead for Sunset. 3:08 left in the first quarter. Near sideline for Newsom. Circles and hands off to King. King bounces into the right corner. Holst open. Three ball. Rattles around and out. McCullough pulls down the board for Hermiston. Hands off to Ramirez. Skips it up to half court. Ortiz has it. Double team comes. Ortiz loses the handle. Passes tip. McCullough gets it. Rifles around the perimeter. Left corner for Smith, and they'll circle it all the way back over to the right corner. Andreessen for three, around and out, and it is pulled down by the sophomore point guard for the Sunset Apollos. He'll dribble right around Ramirez. Runner in front of the foul line, rolls in. And McCullough has the rebound for Hermiston. 2:25 left in the first quarter. 14-9 the scoreline. Out to Ramirez. He'll dribble left lane into the paint, kicks it onto the right side for Andreessen. Circles around one defender. Leaves for Ramirez. Back out to McCullough. Ramirez has it. Skips up top to Ortiz. Ortiz wants to direct traffic. Flips it over to Smith and gets it right back. Ortiz between the circles, gives near sideline to Ramirez. Right elbow jumper is short for Andreessen, and the rebound pings around into the hands of King for Sunset. King, 1-on-2, brings it into the front court. Slows up, leaves it for Newsom, trailing behind him, three-pointer switches. Timeout, KCRC, 1:51 left in the first quarter. It's a full timeout with Sunset in front 17-10. We'll take the break, back in 60 on AM 1360, KOHU. Is your sound on?
Yeah. Oh, no. I didn't think it was.
Okay, no, yours is on mute now.
Reaction for Hermiston, number 2, 5'10" sophomore Andrew Earl.
Out of Hermiston's full timeout, 17-2. We're going to have to go with 10 because that's what the scoreboard still has on it. Thomas McCullough rebounds a miss by Andreessen, and there's a holding foul with 1:37 left in the first quarter. 17-10 is the score line on the board. Hermiston has a phantom point from an Andrew James foul shot that never happened. Andrew Earl has come into the game. He unbounds it right to Andreessen, who's uncovered, and lays in the runner. Andreessen has 9 for Hermiston, and their deficit is allegedly 5. Under 90 seconds left in the first quarter. Brennan Sato gives out to the right side for King. King hands off to Newsom. Newsom, runner from 15 feet high off the glass and in. And the sophomore, who's 6'4", King, hits the runner to make it 19-12. 1:10 left in the first quarter. Earl flips it across the timeline. Andreessen gives near sideline to Ramirez. Skip to Earl, left corner for Smith. He'll pass up a three-point shot, have it knocked out of his hands by Newsom, and gets it back up top to Ramirez to reset. Ramirez floats it inside past everybody, skipped it down at the feet of Andreessen and out of bounds. The style of the game has fit what Sunset wants tonight.
Yes, it has, and right now Hermiston's having a little bit of trouble trying to take care of the basketball. They're throwing, they're just trying to force it in where it can't go.
Mitchell Scanlon, the senior guard, gets away with a carry in the backcourt and then a kickball called against Ramirez. 44.3 seconds left. Here in the first quarter, it's 19-12 for the Apollos. Oliver Twain, a junior, will inbound on the far sideline in front of the standing student section. Into Molheim, the junior, who has it at the top of the key. Coming out left side, hands off to Scanlon, who has it stolen away. And then reaching out, Scanlon will foul Ramirez. Scanlon's foul is his first, 14th foul on Sunset. 19-12.
Sophomore back in action now for Sunset Apollos, number 4. And Adrian Mendez for the...
Adrian Mendez will come back into the game for Thomas McCullough. Near sideline, Cesar Ortiz to inbound. Just up from Tom Sherwood, the head coach of Sunset. In the backcourt, double team on Ramirez. Back to Ortiz in the middle of the court. Coming across the timeline for Hermiston. Ortiz yo-yos with his right hand, flips it to Earl on near sideline, circles back up top, back to Ortiz, right wing three, knocks it down. Hermiston needed that. Cesar Ortiz gets a bucket to cut the Sunset lead down to 4. 10 seconds left in the first quarter. Sato has it, the sophomore guard comes to his right. Down the lane, flings it up over everything, and it's out of bounds. Brandon Sato says, where is the call? And it's actually Hermiston's ball with 2.6 left. Ramirez takes the inbound, 3/4 court heave, too hard. That will bring us to the end of the first period. 19-15 after 1 quarter here at Hermiston High School. We're back in 60 on AM 1360 KOHU.
Today, in between the first and second quarter, we want to wish a happy birthday to our athletic director, Mr. Larry Usher. He turns 57 years old today. Let's sing happy birthday to Larry Usher. Happy birthday to Larry Usher.
Sunset will start with the ball in the second quarter. 19-15 is the lead for the team from Beaverton. Here in Hermiston tonight, Eric Olson and Sonny Leby with you on AM 1360 KOHU. Oliver Twain for Sunset drives down baseline, stuck. King gets it back, foul line, floats it underneath for Tubby. Tubby's shot is off. Tubby rebound, put back, rattles in. Plus, he has a chance for a three-point play the old-fashioned way. The 6'3" senior Ethan Tubby gets the shot to go after Adrian Mendez committed a foul, his first third-team foul. In between quarters, they serenaded Larry Usher, the athletic director, and the 2018 Hermiston Administrator of the Year in the district with happy birthday. 57, I believe is what they said. Left corner for Twain. The Sunset guard down on the lane, traveled at the block. 22-15 is Sunset's advantage. Andreessen to Mendez, high off the glass on the other end of the floor for Hermiston. Mendez has 4 points. A 5-point lead for Sunset. 7:05 left in the second quarter. Foul line jumper rattles in. Sato with the sophomore guard with the runner. And it's 24-17. Other end of the floor, Earl races down and he goes tumbling as he has a shot come up short. The foul will go against Ethan Tubby, his first. 15 foul on Sunset. 6:50 left in the second quarter. Sunset 24, Hermiston 17. Andrew Earl looking for his first points of the game. It's tough right now. I don't know that Hermiston's speed is maybe a little bit too fast.
It's almost like they're running themselves out of position, and they're getting too deep in and too quickly on the inside.
Moline gives it up to the top of the key. Twain for Sunset. Dribbles into the left wing, stuck there. Double team comes, gets it out of his hands to Tubby. Tubby back to Twain, down on the baseline. Double team. Earl steals it away. It is out of bounds. Trying to keep it in as he flew past the Hermiston bench. 6:27 left in the second quarter. Sunset 24, Hermiston 19. Both teams looking for their 5th win of the season. 5-second call before Colby King, the sophomore, could get it in. Full court pressure for Sunset. It's a 2-2-1 look. So Hermiston's trying to run guys into the middle of the floor to create openings. Andreessen, they get it to Mendez, rifles one underneath for Earl, but he circles out onto the wing. Down inside to Andreessen, skips it out to Ramirez on the left wing. Ramirez will float one in 6 feet away. And nothing but the bottom of the net for the first points for Ramirez. 24-21, other end, ball blocked out of bounds by Andreessen on a Tubby shot for Sunset. The Apollos have a baseline inbound coming. First Mendez is out. Thomas McCullough returns. Cesar Ortiz and Ethan Tubby both grabbed by Dana Reese. And they got a talking to before the inbound comes. Sunset brings Cizik back into the game and Joey Kelton for the first time. Into Cizik. Cizik is fouled. Bumped by Earl, I believe, who will be called for the hip check. Earl's first, 4th team foul. 5:58 left in the second quarter, and it's a 3-point Sunset lead. Into the backcourt, Sato will bring it into the front court for Sunset. Looking out to his right, he'll cross over and come back onto the left wing. Hands off to Kelton. The junior will put the ball on the floor. Kelton crosses over Andreessen and hands off to King, circling up at the top of the key. King will change direction, back left, leaves it for Sato, 3-pointer, front iron into the hands of McCullough for Hermiston. He'll find Ramirez. Ramirez surveys up court as he brings it across the timeline. Skips it into the left corner. Ortiz back to McCullough. McCullough will hand off Ortiz, 3-pointer, swishes it. Second 3-pointer for Ortiz, and he ties the game at 24 with 5:15 left in the second quarter. Answer back 3. Cizik is sizzling from the outside. Cizik's got 12, 27-24 after the Sunset 3-point answer back. Andreessen on the far sideline for Hermiston, back to Ramirez. Andreessen foul line, gives into the right corner. Ortiz will try a tray there, rattles it in. Time out for the Sunset Apollos. Tied at 27 with 4:48 left in the second quarter. Todd Sherwood wants to cool off the heating up Cesar Ortiz.
I'll tell you what, the nice thing is he is catching it in his shooting motion, whether it be from the one sideline at the baseline or not, or whether it be from the top. He is catching the ball and shooting it in good motion with the body going forward. He's going to be tough to stop unless they come out here and throw a body and spy on him.
What's hard for defense against Cesar Ortiz is he doesn't really have a spot. He hits from all over the court. Probably the least likely place for him to shoot one is from the top of the key.
Yeah. He doesn't like that straight-on look, that's for sure.
27 apiece with 4:38. Left wing, Kelton will try to answer back with a three. It pings around off of a couple of hands. Ramirez dribbles it out of bounds off a King's foot. Hermiston will keep possession. Substitution, Will Reese will come into the game. Dana Reese needs to make sure his high tops are perfectly tied. Loop, swoop, and pull, and we're ready to go. 4:30 left in the second quarter. Ortiz gets it across the timeline for Hermiston. Top of the key, Andreessen out to the left wing for Ramirez. Ramirez circling back up top, hands to Earl. Earl to Ortiz in the right corner, down baseline for McCullough. Rifles it to Andreessen. Back to Earl, foul line runner, front iron it in. Andrew Earl's got 4, and Hermiston's got their first lead of the game at 29-27, halfway through the second quarter. Right side, Cizik tries a three, way too hard, bounces all the way out to the perimeter. Kelton has it, gives to Sato. Sato back to the right side, three-pointer for Newsom, high off the back iron, bounces front iron into the hands of Ortiz. For Hermiston, he'll give to the far sideline. Ramirez brings it into the front court. Bulldogs by 2, and Ramirez threw it 5 rows up on the far sideline. Sunset ball.
Yeah, you know, Hermiston is doing very well. That's only the 3rd turnover on each team in this first half. 6 total for the first half. You know, at the pace that this game is going, and that's really good.
Newsom rifles it inside. Cizik in traffic. Turnaround comes off of the bottom of the backboard. Earl has the rebound and he's slapped. The foul on Sunset will be their 6th.
First foul on Sunset. Sunset, number 5, Nick Cizik.
Nick Cizik is called for the foul.
16 foul.
His first 16 foul.
Cole Smith, number 12 in action.
Cole Smith will come into the game, and he replaces Cesar Ortiz, who has 9 points for Hermiston. 29-27 Bulldogs, 3:20 left in the second quarter. Ramirez skips it to Smith, left corner, 3 ball, rattles out round and off of the front iron, it hangs. Foul on the rebound called against McCullough as it fell into the hands of Kelton. And Thomas McCullough picks up his first. 15 foul on Hermiston. McCullough out, Adrian Mendez in for the Bulldogs, and Cesar Ortiz gets back to the scorer's table. He'll replace Earl, who immediately will race, I believe, to the bathroom there. He's maybe got to check to see if he got cut when he got fouled. Right across the bridge of the nose. 3:08 left in the second quarter, 29-27 Hermiston. The big guy Reese has a left elbow, turning to Cizik. The cutting shot is off the iron into the hands of Ramirez. For Hermiston, Ortiz has it at the timeline, lobs it near sideline for Ramirez. Ramirez and Ortiz up top handling the ball for Hermiston as the Bulldogs look to add on to their 2-point lead. Ramirez, far sideline, circles, bounces down baseline, open Mendez at the 10 to lay it in. Assist from Jordan Ramirez, and the Bulldogs lead is 31-27. 3-ball answer back. Are you kidding me? Cizik hits another. He had 40 against St. Helens. He's got 15 right now. 3rd 3-point shot made. Hermiston's lead is down to 1. With 2:17 left in the second quarter. Ortiz, far sideline, lobs it to Ramirez at the top of the key. Shuffles it to Smith, down on the baseline, turnaround for Andreessen. Rebound, put back Mendez, is blocked from behind by Newsom. Sunset's got the ball. Newsom lobs it near sideline. Sato brings it into the front court into Jog. Sato lobs it down to Reese on the block. One bounce and lays it up over the top of Andreessen and in. First points of the game for Will Reese. 1:48 left in the second quarter. Left corner for Smith, lobs it to the top of the key for Ortiz. Double team comes to him. He'll split the double team. Foul line runner switches home. 11 points for Cesar Ortiz. 33-32 in favor of Hermiston. Cizik in the lane, skips down onto the baseline for Reese. Reese stuck baseline, he walked.
Got away
Mendez
with
with
that.
the defense.
He got a little bit away from that one. Mendez had a little bit of a bump, but good job by Hermiston of rotating very quickly and getting into the passing lanes and just forcing them to the baseline.
Timeout for Hermiston. And they have to use their third timeout here in the first half. It's a 30-second timeout with 1:28 left in the second quarter. 33-32 in favor of the Bulldogs after they've trailed by as much as 7 in this game. Your only concern is that you have only the 2 timeouts for the remainder of the contest if this game is going to stay close going into the second half.
Yeah, and the pace that they're going right now, and both teams are going, it's going to come down to who's got the deepest bench and how long the starters can actually go. (33-32), 1:23 left in the second quarter. Hermiston leading by 1, and they possess out of their 30-second timeout. Jordan Ramirez lobs down onto the right baseline for Andreessen. Skip pass far side Mendez. Hands it off to Ramirez. Ramirez lobs it right into the hands of Newsom, who swipes it away for Sunset, and right into the hands of Kelton, who brings it into the front court. Skipped over to Newsom, right side. Head fake, it'll drive against Smith. Lobs it back out to the left wing, Kelton. Kelton driving right, flings it into the right corner. Cizik righty 3, front iron off, and the rebound bounces out off of the hands of the 6'5 sophomore Eric Tubby. Mendez is working hard underneath. He's got 6 points for Hermiston, but it's what he's doing against all the Sunset big guys that's maybe most important. Yeah,
Trying to make it better in a 1-point lead with 40 seconds left in the first half. A drive and a foul against Ortiz, who's going to the line to shoot 2.
Sunset, number 23.
And Casey Arsene said in our pregame show, Adrian Mendez is the X factor tonight.
Well, and that's the thing. Mendez is doing a great job out there. I mean, he's flashing to the basket. He's getting good, positioning underneath. And that's a key whenever you're rebounding against a bigger team. You've got to be able to go ahead and lock that leg in so they can't get around you.
One of the 2 foul shots.
They corrected it, finally. He got both free throws.
Got him. Okay, so the scoreboard's finally right.
Yes.
34-32. I thought maybe we were just going to live with the phantom point all game.
I thought we were.
Jordan Ramirez called for a hand check foul. That was the foul Hermiston had to give with 21.1 seconds left in the first half. 34-32, Hermiston lead. And Ramirez will come out for the first time in this game. 6-foot senior Patrick Wicks will come in. Sato takes it into the backcourt against Andrew Earl. Sophomore against sophomore. Sato comes to his left elbow, jumper pulled up off, rims off the back iron for Andreessen, who's fouled in the backcourt by Cizik. Cizik's second, 18 foul. And Ryan Andreessen gets to walk to the other end of the floor, where he is 3 for 4 tonight from the foul line. Austin Holst will come back into the game for Cizik.
And I'm sure that is a foul that Sherwood did not want his team to make. They had no break going, really.
The foul from 75 feet away is usually a questionable one. .5 seconds remaining. Andreessen. True on him. 37-32. Sato works it across the timeline. Around a high pick from Tubby. Sato skips it right side. Kelton 3 at the buzzer. Airballed into the hands of Andreessen. 37-32. Hermiston, after having a big deficit in the first quarter, takes a 5-point lead into the locker room at the Tom Denchel Ford Country halftime show break. We're back in 2 minutes here on AM 1360 KOHU.
They added it on again. Got it was 34 to 32. He hit 2 free throws.
Andreessen hit them both.
For 36.
So he's got 11, right?
Right, for 36. And they added the foot.
Olson, he's Sonny Leby. It is the Tom Denchel Ford Country halftime show at Hermiston High School. 37 to 32. Sunset came out hot to start this thing, led by Nick Cizik, who had 9 of his 15 points in the first quarter. And at one point, it was a 7-point lead for Sunset, and the Bulldogs just looked completely out of sorts. They seem to have settled down things and gotten onto the right track. In the second quarter, they were able to make a couple of runs, including at one point a 10-3 run to tie the game at 27. Cesar Ortiz hit his second of 3 first half three-point shots. Nick Cizik would come down and hit an answer back 3 to put Sunset back in front, but Ortiz would hit another three-pointer. And when it was tied at that point, Hermiston never relinquished again and let Sunset back out in front as they closed the quarter on an albeit little, but they closed it on a run to lead by 5 at the half.
Well, you know, and
I'm not sure this was the best of games through the first 2 quarters, but they're playing well enough to be in the lead against Sunset.
Well, what happened was Ortiz got hot. He started shooting the basketball, shooting it well, and that forced Sunset to start, stop running at everybody and having to, playing off of Ortiz, because 3 of Ortiz's shots were wide open looks, and they weren't even close. So now they had to start running instead of being there in their face. They were chasing, and that's what you wanted Hermiston to force Sunset to do, is chase them. Hermiston stopped chasing. Fortunately, Cizik has cooled off just a little bit, not a whole lot, but a little bit, and he's got 15 in this first half already for Sunset, and Hermiston's got to try and figure out a way to keep him off balance.
So the Bulldogs lead is 37-32. They and the girls will be going to LeGrand tomorrow night. It's a doubleheader that begins with the girls at 5:45. We'll have radio coverage for you beginning at 5:30 here on KOHU and GoHermiston.com. We'll take another 2-minute break here on the Tom Detchel Ford Country halftime show. First half stats after this on AM 1360 KOHU. I'm Eric, he's Sonny. I don't know that we're going to have an ever good answer to this. In the official book, there are the foul shots that Andreessen took, and Andrew James has a 1 of 2 trip to the line. You didn't have it happening. I don't have it happening. Alexis Manzanares from the Hermiston Herald and East Oregonian, she looked at me when I asked her, because I found her and I said, do you have that? Because she's taking notes the whole game. None of us have it, but it exists in the official book. So 37-32 it is.
Wow. You know, this is, you know, that's the stuff that's going to cost Hermiston if it is this way, because if it comes down to it, you know, you can't. Home book's is gonna override, yes. But if you get a protest out of the thing,
but they don't have a book on the scorers table. I don't see. They have an assistant coach who's keeping tallies, but apparently all of the media members in the building have no idea about this. But it's gotta exist now, because I mean it's the official book. So 37-32. Let's start with scoring. Andrew James allegedly has 1. Jordan Ramirez has 2. Andrew Earl has 4. Adrian Mendez with 6. Ryan Andreessen with 11, and Cesar Ortiz with 13. Nick Sizik leads Sunset with 15 points. 4 points for Brandon Sato, 3 points apiece for Coleman Newsom and Austin Holst, and Ethan Tubby. Colby King and Will Reese each have 2. Any other numbers that stand out to you?
Just rebounding-wise, Hermiston's doing a very good job. Andreessen, Hermiston has the edge in the first half. 17 rebounds in that first half to 10 for the bigger Sunset team. could be because Hermiston's getting a lot of their own rebounds, and Sunset has been so hot and not missed a whole lot. Nice. The other thing is 7 turnovers for Sunset in their first half and only 6 for Hermiston. That's a key to me to how this game is going to turn out. Look for Sunset if they want to go ahead and light this thing up, start to pressure a little bit more. Also, see the same thing out of Hermiston coming back the same way, putting the pressure on with their defense to get their offense jump started again and get Ortiz in the open again.
So 37-32. Second half is pending. Hermiston in the home white uniforms attacking right to left. Sunset all purple road uniforms with white numerals and lettering. Starters for both teams back out on the floor. Brandon Sato, Nick Sizik, Will Reese, Coleman Newsom, and Austin Holst on defense. As Cesar Ortiz inbounds, Jordan Ramirez pressured in the backcourt. Ryan Andreessen, Andrew James, and Adrian Mendez in the front court for Hermiston. Ramirez has it and hands off to Andreessen. Circles to the top of the key and gives to James. James looks inside. Andreessen has it under the bucket. Blocked from behind by Newsom. Sunset coming the other direction. Sizik slows up at half court. Weaves over to the right wing and pulls down the dribble. He'll cross over at the foul line. Traveled. Sizik walks a turnover. And Hermiston will have the ball back. Leading by 5. Not quite 30 seconds into the third quarter. Ramirez gets past Sato, who went for the steal and brings it into the front court. Sato, lots of speed, catches back up with him. Ramirez spins off of him, comes around the left lane and is fouled. To the 10. I don't know if it's Sato, a little bit overzealous on the defending by the sophomore. Picks up his first foul and the first team foul. Nobody in foul trouble. There are a handful of guys who have 2 each. Hermiston is 10 of 11 from the foul line, and now Ramirez makes his first, and he misses the second. So 11 of 12 from the foul line, 38-32 Hermiston. Sizik at the top of the key, offset to his right, bounces out onto the left wing, hands off to a hounded Holst. James all over him. Holst slows up, drives in, bumps James. They will wave off the fadeaway shot. Andrew James, however, has picked up his third foul. And remember a minute ago when I said nobody was in foul trouble? Andrew James is in foul trouble, and Andrew Earl will come to the scorer's table.
Yeah, that's too bad because that was pretty good defense. There was some bumping going by both players, but that takes Andrew out of any type of momentum.
Reese takes the inbound and flips it up with his right hand and swishes. 4 points for him, 38-34. Hermiston has a 4-point advantage. Little more than a minute into the third quarter. Ortiz lobs near sideline. Andreessen gives into the corner for Ramirez. Ramirez spins around, bounces down onto the baseline. Mendez finishes. Mendez with 8. 40-34 Hermiston. 6:40 left in the third quarter. Sato pick and roll, stolen by Ramirez. Ramirez for Hermiston, lobs it up to Mendez. One bounce into the lane, he'll lay it in. Mendez with 10, 42-34. It equals Hermiston's largest lead of the game. The other end, though, an easy put in for Will Reese. Right at the lane for the Apollos, 42-36 Hermiston. Andrew Earl in the left corner is stuck for Hermiston. Out onto the far side now Ortiz. Bounces onto the basket. Mendez there, finish it up. Mendez is helping Hermiston eat this Sunset defense alive, 44-36 in the first 2 minutes of the third quarter. Foul called as Sato split a double team, ooh and an ah from the crowd as he put a rain-making teardrop floater up after the foul was called, and it barely hit the net as it went through. Mendez called for the foul, his second team foul on Hermiston. 8-point lead for the Bulldogs. Sato double teamed. He'll fling it out to Sizik on the right side. Poked out of his hands by Andreessen. Sizik gets space, dumps it Will Reese, right baseline, 18-footer swishes. Reese makes it 44-38 in favor of Hermiston. Hermiston quickly the other end, missed by Mendez and out off of Andreessen last. Sunset will have the ball. 5:32 left in the third quarter. 44-38 Hermiston's advantage.
Yeah, I think we found somebody that's as quick as Jordan Ramirez. Maybe even quicker.
He might be quicker for sure. Reese
Wow.
at the right elbow takes a lob from Sato. Backdoor pass under the basket. Holst flips it up over the top of Ortiz and in. Holst's first point since the first quarter. 44-40 is Hermiston's advantage. Sunset's been as close as 4 a couple of times here in the period. And a travel by Earl as he drove down to the baseline. Casey Arstein in disbelief up off of the bench. And with fury, walks down to the end of the bench to tell Dana Reese he is displeased with his traveling call.
But I think it was the right call. That was a long, long drag stem.
Underneath, Newsom finishes. And now Sunset is backdooring Hermiston's defense. 44-42 with 4:45 left in the third quarter. Earl crosses over against Holst, drives in, fouled on his way to the 10. And 2 shots coming from Andrew Earl.
First foul is number 30, Austin Holst, his first personal.
On Holst's first personal foul. The second team foul.
Back in action with the Bulldogs, number 32.
Take a look through the Dan's West Coast Auto Glass scoreboard. Sunset JV and freshman both winners against Hermiston. JV 57-47. The freshman 76-46. Over Umatilla High School, it's the Eastern Oregon League opener. For the Umatilla Vikings, they're hosting rival Oregon. The Oregon girls were 52-24 winners tonight. Boys game is just underway. We'll get you a score next time we get a chance. Sato floater right side. From about 6 feet away, his right hand flings it up and in. Full court pressure from Sunset with Hermiston's lead down to 2 at 46-44. 4:20 left third quarter. Head fake by Smith. Leaves it for Earl and he walks.
Yep.
Another turnover on Andrew Earl.
Sad part about it is he had him beat anyway by a full step. He was already by his front foot. All he needed to do was dribble and he had a lay-in.
End of one quarter at Umatilla High School. Oregon leads Umatilla 11-9. Ball knocked out of bounds off of Hermiston last. It'll stay Sunset basketball. Attacking to our right, trailing by 2, almost to the halfway point of the third quarter. Newsom will inbound and lob it into the backcourt for Sato, who will yo-yo it into the front court as he walks straight on. Edges out to his right. He'll hesitate and drive against Ramirez and draw the foul, called back at half court by Dana Reese. Casey Arstein walking the other end of the floor and yelling up at the rafters.
The line for Sunset number 4, Brandon Sato. WCD2.
Sato with 2 foul shots coming. The sophomore rolls the first one off with the front iron and in. That's just the second foul shot taken in the game by Sunset. And Sato gets them both to go, front iron and a roll, to tie the game at 46. 3:55 left in the third quarter. Hermiston is led by as much as 8 in this quarter. Now find themselves tied with Sunset. Both teams trying to get to win number 5 on the season. Andreessen drives baseline, kicks to Ramirez. Open 3, right wing, way short. Ramirez gets the rebound to himself. Leaves it underneath for McCullough, flings it up and off the iron and in. Thomas McCullough's first points of the game make it 48-46 Hermiston. 3 minutes, 25 seconds left third quarter. Sizik open left wing for 3. Front iron into the hands of Ramirez for Hermiston. Lobs it up court. Long run for Andreessen. Chases it down, flips it back over his head, but Sizik has it for Sunset. Down the far sideline by himself. He'll slow up, dribble behind his back, and hand off to Sato to reset. Sato will drive into traffic, and he walked, which is the most benevolent of the calls that Reese could make on that. He rolled right over the top of Ramirez. Could have been an offensive foul, but instead, Hermiston will have it on just the common turnover. McCullough comes out, and Mendez is back in for Hermiston. Full court pressure from Sunset. Up to Mendez near sideline, 3-on-2, and a hand check foul on Colby King before Mendez got to the rim. Third team foul on Sunset, King's first. And the Bulldogs have a baseline inbound. Cole Smith, Adrian Mendez, Ryan Andreessen, Andrew Earl, and Jordan Ramirez. Smith will inbound on the baseline. Baskets to his left as he looks up. Blocks and elbows for Hermiston to start. Underneath the basket, Mendez open, foul from behind by Sato, who slams the back of the padding behind the baseline basket standard that Hermiston is attacking. And Mendez, who has 6 in the quarter, gets a couple of foul shots on Sato's second. 14 foul on Sunset. Mendez missed the first. Hermiston has been good from the foul line tonight.
Wow.
Second is off to the right. 48-46, Hermiston's lead with 2:50 left in the third quarter. Sato underneath for Reese. Reese leaves it to a cutting King. Short on the shot, gets his own rebound and a foul. Andreessen called for the harm. His first and the 14th foul on Hermiston. Mitchell Scanlon will come into the game before Coleman Newsom inbounds on the baseline. Underneath the basket to his right. Into King. King works into the paint against Smith. Down on the right block. Turnaround off the front iron. King's rebound swatted away by Smith. And then under the basket, a jump ball as Andreessen is tied up by Scanlon. Possession stays for Sunset with 2:37 left in the third quarter. Bulldogs hanging on by their fingernails to the 2-point lead. Small fingernails, because this has been a nail biter most of the game. Sato turnaround jumper from 15. Reese tip pass to the right side. Newsom from 15. Short as well. Ramirez has the rebound in traffic for Hermiston. Double teamed under the basket. Tries to step through the traffic. Scanlon steals. Flips it to Sato underneath the King, who lays it in. 48 all with 2:12 left in the third quarter. Earl will bring it across the timeline, hesitate, and then pick up a full head of steam. Leaves it underneath, nobody's there. Andreessen somehow keeps it for Hermiston. Lobbed up to the top, and Scanlon steals a bad pass for Sunset. Sato, no look to King, steps to his left, blocked from behind by Smith, put back by Reese off the iron into the hands of Smith for Hermiston. 48 apiece still with 1:45 left in the third quarter. Ramirez will walk it into the front court for Hermiston. Scanlon goes for a swipe and then misses. Bulldog cheerleaders, a dozen of them, trying to lead a charge over on the far sideline in front of Ramirez, who has the ball, passes up a three, rifles to the top of the key. Andreessen underneath, Mendez finishes. Mendez has 14, and it's 50-48. Sato brings it into the front court for Sunset. 1:15 left in the third quarter. His team down by 2 again. Newsom right wing. Drives baseline, gets a little space from Earl, who closes him back out. Smith pokes the ball away from King. Earl has it, then stolen back by Scanlon for Sunset in the backcourt, who hands off to Sato. Throws it inside to Newsom. Newsom turns, kicks. Reese back out to Newsom. Right elbow extended. He'll go to work one-on-one with Smith. Turnaround off the front iron into the hands of Andreessen for Hermiston. Andreessen sees space. He'll, with some pace, push it into the front court. Back up to half court, and Ramirez will set up with 44 seconds left in the third. Bulldogs by 2. Mendez underneath, throws it up in traffic. Reese with the block, stripped away from Andreessen, off at the shoot top of Reese. No!
Man.
Dina Reese missed it right in front of him. It was off of the right foot of Will Reese and out of bounds. The Hermiston fans displaying some frustration. Although most don't appear to be engaged, because I'm the most frustrated right now.
I mean, I don't know how he could have missed it, the strip going down and right off his leg, but he certainly did.
Jordan Ramirez is called, no. Omar Garcia just checked into the game. And he commits a foul, trying to stay in front of Sato in the backcourt. 15 foul on Hermiston. 30 seconds left third quarter. Bulldogs by 2. Sato, offensive foul way away from the ball, and an illegal screen by Scanlon. Scanlon, the senior, picks up his second, 15 foul. Earl back in, and Garcia out. With 27 seconds left in the third quarter, Hermiston's lead is 50-48. Cesar Ortiz to inbound. Into the backcourt for Earl, guarded by Holst. Earl will walk it across the timeline, far sideline, dribbles it nearly out of bounds, flings it to the top of the key. Mendez keeps it, drives down ref lane, scoop shot, no foul on the rebound, wave off the putback. It's Hermiston underneath, or is it Sunset ball? Hermiston called for the foul underneath.
Oh, a push on Ortiz.
Cesar Ortiz on a push. 16 foul on Hermiston. 12 and a half seconds left in the third quarter. 2-point lead. Andreessen guarding right now against Sato. Sato takes the inbound. Andreessen will stay with him as he brings it across the timeline. Sato crosses over top of the key, up with the three, switches it. And that will bring us to the end of the third quarter. 51-50. A Sunset 1-point lead as we go to the fourth. When we come back in 60 seconds on AM 1360 KOHU. Eric Olson and Sonny Levy with you from the Old West Federal Credit Union broadcast booth. Fourth quarter, Sunset 51, Hermiston 50, as at the quarter end, Brandon Sato hit a three-pointer to give him 11. It's the sixth three-pointer made by the Sunset Apollos. Bulldogs will start with the ball. Andrew James takes the inbound. Cesar Ortiz, Adrian Mendez, Cole Smith, and Ryan Andreessen. Turnover by James in the lane. Sunset the other direction. Colby King stuck in the left corner. Passes the ball, tips, Scanlon has it on the left block, and he's tied up. And Mitchell Scanlon immediately turns and says, Dana Reese, I got hit on the arm. And Dana Reese is not having any of it. So Brandon Sato, who I don't think has come out of the game, with Mitchell Scanlon and Colby King. Sam Mulheim, a foul off of the ball on Cesar Ortiz, his third. 17 foul, so it's the bonus for Sam Mulheim, who is held. By the way, the fifth on the floor right now is Oliver Twain. This is a chance for Hermiston, as outside of Sato, the bench is on the floor for the Sunset Apollos. By the way, on the Dan's West Coast Auto Glass scoreboard, Umatilla 17, Oregon 15. Final 3 minutes of the second quarter at Umatilla High School. Last year, the teams played 3 times, and Umatilla ended up Eastern Oregon League champions under Derek Layton. Layton, now the coach at Southridge for their girls. They had Kamayakin tonight at home. The foul shots are good for Mulheim, his first points of the game. Sunset's lead is 53-50, 30 seconds in. Andrew James, who turned it over last time down, rifles to Smith, gives into the corner. Right side for Andreessen, underneath for Mendez at the lane. He lays it in. Mendez has 16 points to lead all scorers in this game now. He just passed Cizik. The two leading scorers in the first half were held scoreless in the third quarter. Cizik, who had 15 in the first half, and Andreessen, who had 11 in the first half. Ortiz steals it away from King, and then Ortiz is taken to the floor. Scanlon, the most vocal of the Sunset Apollos, the senior off of the bench, pleading his case to Dana Reese, but he's the one called for the harm. 16 foul on the Apollos, and Scanlon will come out, and Cizik will come back in. Ortiz rifles it into Andreessen. Hermiston in the backcourt trying to get it up court. And they'll let Ortiz bring it up against Twain. Ortiz, and offensive foul called on Ortiz as Twain went down. Ortiz lifted his right arm out and called for the offensive foul, his fourth. Player control, so the eighth on Hermiston is just Sunset ball with 6:50 left in the fourth quarter. Sunset's lead is 1. Twain throws far sideline to King. King will dribble against Ortiz, drives it across the right lane and flips it up and in. Good recognition by Twain, realizing Ortiz had the 4 fouls. That is 55-52. James brings in the front court, pocket pick by Sato, all by himself, other end of the floor. The sophomore flies to the 10 and lays it in. 13 for him, 57-52. The JV and freshman teams from Sunset are getting loud with their bench, trying to make a little road noise. A steal on the other end of the floor. Sato. James got away with a reach. Sato has the ball still for Sunset. 5:55 left in the fourth. 57-52, the Apollos advantage. King left elbow extended, hands off to Sato. Step back 2 at the top of the key. Rolls in. Sato's got 15. 59-52.
Boy, this team has got some shooters.
Ortiz brings it in the front court. Timeout, Casey Hermiston. His second to last timeout with 5:32 left in the fourth quarter. Bulldogs trail by 7 as Sunset starts this quarter on an 8-2 run. We'll take the 60-second break on KOHU. .532 left in the fourth quarter. 59-52 Sunset. The Apollos will press the full court as Ortiz inbounds for Hermiston on the near sideline. And into the backcourt, knocked away from James by Sato out of bounds. There was a buzzer there during the inbound. While the inbound was taking place, the buzzer means they should have reset it. Casey Hermiston is in disbelief that they let that play take place with the buzzer going. Sunset will inbound on the baseline, lobs it inside. Molheim flings it up, fouled from behind, and 2 shots coming. They called it on Caesar, but they said it's just his 4th.
Yeah, that's all I have him for is 4.
$19 foul on Hermiston. King, good on the first and good on the second. Sunset is 5 of 5 from the foul line. Their lead is 61-52. Mendez driving left side to the lane, around King and in. With his right hand, Mendez was able to finish on the left side. 61-54. Cizik open, top of the key three, airballed it. He has not had a basket go in, and that is maybe only his second shot of the second half, and it didn't hit anything.
Yeah, he only had like 2 shots in that whole second period, maybe 3, and it's only since that probably about a 3-minute mark in the second quarter. That's a second shot since that time. Hermiston's done a pretty good job on him.
Andrew James in the right corner will head fake and drive underneath for Mendez. He'll lay it in under the basket, coming across to the right side with the reverse. 61-56. 4:48 left in the fourth quarter. Remember, Hermiston only has 1 timeout left. Sato against James at the top of the key, and a 5-second call as James is right there with Sato as he is dribbling and crossing over and not doing anything. So Hermiston forces a turnover. 5-point lead for the Apollos with 4:40 left in the fourth. James in the backcourt will bring it into the front court for Hermiston. James into the paint, kicks it out to Andreessen left wing, flips it across to Ortiz. Head fake, it'll drive around King, and a hand check foul. The 17th foul on Sunset, so it'll be 1-1 for Cesar Ortiz on Colby King's second. Ortiz has made both his foul shots tonight. Hermiston is 13 of 17 from the line. Missed the front end. 61-56, Sunset's lead. Not quite to the halfway point of the fourth quarter. Newsom left alone on the left wing by Ortiz. Back up top to Sato. Sato to Newsom, left side. Newsom dribbles to the top of the key. Rifles the right side for Reese. Hands off to Sato. Long three. Back iron off, and Andrew pulls down the rebound. A double team comes to him. He'll spin around and find James for Hermiston across the timeline. James will slow up. Right wing. James will drive. Kick foul line to Ortiz. Pass right wing. Andreessen's three. Front iron off. Newsom tips it, and it's into the hands of Earl for Hermiston. Earl tight ropes the near sideline. James throws it underneath. Reeves saves it in. Cizik has it for Sunset. Back to Newsom. Newsom a 2-on-3. James went for a steal and a miss. Newsom gives it to Sato. 3:33 left in the fourth. 5-point lead for Sunset. King under the basket. Reverses blocked by Mendez, and Hermiston has it. James into the front court on the far sideline. He'll cross over. Sato steals it away. Picks his pocket. Tight ropes around Mendez. Comes out of the end. Flips it in. And a technical foul called as Andreessen slapped the backboard. Andreessen called for a technical foul for slapping the backboard, and Casey Arstein says, Brian Frills, you have to come over and have a conversation with me. The basket counts, by the way.
I didn't see him hit the backboard. I saw him take a swipe at the ball.
Right, but if he hit the backboard with his hand, it's a technical foul.
I don't think he hit the backboard. I think when he did, I mean, I could be wrong, but I'd like to see it in the replay there again. But I didn't see him hit the backboard.
Yeah, I don't know for sure up here, but I know that's why the technical was called.
Yeah, I can understand that. That's what they're saying. That he. But I just didn't.
Sato made the layup. He hits both foul shots.
You can normally see the backboard move or hear the slap, and the backboard or the rim did not move when that shot went up.
It's a big swing, essentially a 4-point swing, and Andrew James is called for a holding foul in the backcourt. Andrew James, his fourth. 10th team foul. Sunset up 65-56. And Brandon Sato, the sophomore guard with ice water in his veins, has come into the doghouse and has silenced the Hermiston crowd. First foul shot goes. And for the first time in this game, either team has a double-digit lead. 3:16 left in the fourth quarter. Sato good on both. He has 21, and it's 67-56. Cole Smith will come in. Andrew Earl will come out. Andrew James takes the inbound for Hermiston. Up to Mendez. Mendez leaves for Andreessen. Between the circles, Andreessen flips to James. James driving against Sato, under the basket, stuck, flips it back out. Smith for three, too hard, back iron rebound, pinged into the air. Cizik secures. Finds Sato, under 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. An 11-point lead for Sunset. Looking to get their 5th win of the season on this long end of the week road trip to Hermiston. Next Tuesday, they'll take on Glencoe. Sato splits 2 defenders into the lane, misses the shot. Rebound out to King. Bodies flying out of the way, away from the ball. And 2 shots coming for Sunset as a foul was committed on a King putback. The foul on Andreessen, his 3rd. One of the Sunset assistants flings a towel from their bench out onto the floor, where away from the ball, Cizik and Ortiz had got tangled up. They're back at half court talking about it right now. I don't know if I'd say it's jovial, but it doesn't look contentious as they talk.
That's 2 competitors out there.
King good on his first. King good on both. He's got 7. Andrew James, other end of the floor, flies to the lane, scoop shot with the left hand, goes in. Timeout for KCR's team. 69-58. It's the final timeout for Hermiston with 2:29 left in the fourth. We'll take the full timeout, back in 60 seconds on AM 1360 KOHU. Well, it's Larry Usher's birthday, so he definitely gets to get his 2 cents in with the officials. Dana Reese, who Larry and I were talking about, we both think Dana is one of the best officials of the Blue Mountain Association. He and Larry Usher had a good conversation there. I don't know what about during the timeout. Sunset has the ball out of the timeout for Hermiston. They're last of the game. Apollos want to spread things out with 2:14 left, leading 69-58. Sato to Newsom at the jump circle. Guarded by McCullough. Flips it into the right corner for Reese and back out to Newsom. Tall lineup out there for Sunset right now with Sato, leading scorer who's got 21. Sato comes to his right around Andrew James, who's working with 4 fouls. Sato hesitates, drives to his left, flips it up. They will wave off the scoop shot that went in, but Andrew James has committed his 5th and will foul out of the game. 3 points for him. One field goal, 1 of 2 from the foul line. And Cesar Ortiz will replace him. Cesar has 4 fouls. Brandon Sato has 2 foul shots coming, with Hermiston in the double bonus. And he stays perfect tonight from the foul line on his first 7 shots. His 8th foul shot of this game comes with 1:53 left in the 4th quarter, and it rolls off the iron to the right. And McCullough couldn't secure the rebound as he's falling out of bounds. Sunset ball, 70-58 their lead. Racing to the scorer's table, Austin Holst will come back into the game for Colby King. Newsom inbound on the baseline for Sunset. Lobs it into Sato, coming to his left. Rifle the pass inside. It's bounced off of Earl. Cizik has it somehow for Sunset. Newsom back to Sato with 1:40 left. Casey Arstein saying, you've got to get up on him. Get up on him. Sato will start to dribble against Earl. Blow past him down the right lane. Lay it up and in, +1. The sophomore Brandon Sato has been spectacular for the Sunset Apollos in the second half. He has 20 second half points, plus the foul shot pending after Andrew Earl commits his 2nd foul. Quarter century mark there for Sato. He's got 25 of the 73 Sunset has put up here at Hermiston tonight. 1:25 left. Sunset's lead is out to 15. Mendez drives baseline, slows up. He's fouled on a shot on the right block, and Mendez will get a couple of foul shots. He has not quietly, but has effectively put 20 up for Hermiston tonight. He's going to run away with the Delish Bistro player of the game. Will Reese is called for the foul, his 3rd, and the 8th team foul on Sunset. Mendez's first goes in, and he'll have 1 more. Well, Bulldogs won't have a long time to think about this. Mendez misses it. It's secured by McCullough. Hermiston keeps it. Andrew Earl down the lane, misses. Mendez put back, and he flips it up and in. 23 for Mendez, 73-61 with 1:05 left. Ball tipped, but into the far sideline hands of Holst for Sunset. Gives to Newsom. Newsom pirouettes around. Cizik back out to Newsom. Sato's got it. Sato lobs it to Newsom on the right lane. Weaves around 1 defender. Now he's fouled as he flings it back to the top of the key. And Coleman Newsom will go to the foul line to shoot a couple after Thomas McCullough commits his 2nd foul. Sunset gets the Martin Luther King Jr. weekend after what will be their 5th win of the season and their 3rd in a row. Tuesday they'll host Glencoe back in Metro League action, where they sit 5th right now. 3-3 their Metro League record. Hermiston tomorrow night goes to LeGrand to take on the Tigers. A foul on the rebound as McCullough is fouled from behind by Newsom, I believe.
I think it was Cizik.
Oh, it was Cizik, you're right. 19 foul on Sunset, Cizik's 3rd. Newsom hit 1 of the 2 foul shots. Rebound put back on the miss by Andreessen, poked into the air by Blake Davis, who just came in for Hermiston. Newsom has it at 38 seconds left. He'll take it all the way to the lane and lay it in. Sunset students, a thanks for hosting chant with 24 seconds left. Earl will drive down the right lane, too hard. Davis underneath has a put back, blocked away by Reese. Andreessen stolen away by Cizik, who flings it into Newsom for Sunset. Ortiz went for a steal. McCullough went for a steal. 4-on-2. Cizik with 5 seconds left. Back out to Sato. Sato, the sophomore, will hold it with a 76-61 final score. The Sunset Apollos are winners here tonight at Hermiston High School. Sato at 25, Mendez with 23 for Hermiston, and the Sunset Apollos are winners here tonight at Hermiston High. Swen Motors postgame show is coming up. We're back in 2 minutes.